everyone. Welcome to this episode of Unraveling the Veil with your host, Yara Rose, also known as Katie Mosier from the yararose.com website. That is YARAROSE.com. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's podcast episode. I want to talk today about limiting belief, but one specifically that I've already talked about before, and that would be the belief of you are not enough. I know that I've done a blog about this. I know that I've already done an actual episode based on this and how I found myself to be enough. But I had this experience in the last week where it really just drove home how important and how much of an impact that this belief can have on someone or anyone, really. And I thought it was a really good opportunity for me to jump on here and just remind you of how much our beliefs, our foundational beliefs, can impact our life. I had an encounter with an amazing, so actually, let me back up a moment. I was doing a You Are Enough tapping video by Nick Ortner. I have a membership with their tapping, I think it's called the Tapping Solution app. I really enjoy it because it helps me work through some of those unconscious beliefs that I just need to, that get triggered. And there's certain times where they've been triggered really bad, and tapping has been helpful for me in those moments to step back, get a clear head again, and work through things from a healthier perspective rather than a reactive perspective. So anyways, I was triggered this week, and my you are not enough belief that I have been working to heal for years was the one that was triggered. And I was doing this video, and there was a specific section in there that I just want to share with you because it hit me so much today that I was like, this is perfect to lead into the experience that I had last week. So Nick says in the video, this belief of you are not enough weighs on us every single day. It affects all of our decisions as we doubt ourselves and as we limit ourselves, as we beat ourselves up. We are talking about all these negative things, bringing up all this garbage about not being enough in order to acknowledge the pain behind it and begin to let it go. Acknowledge the true pain of walking around believing that you are not enough. How much has that cost you? And when you think about it this way, about how much our every single day decisions are based on our belief system, and if you have this particular one where it says that whatever you're doing is not enough, how is that impacting your day? How many times are you saying yes when you should say no? Excuse me, I don't like saying the word should. How many times are you saying yes when really what you want to do in your heart of hearts is say no? Because you don't have that extra moment. You don't have that extra time. You don't have another moment in the day, another thing that you can put on the calendar. You're just tired. You're exhausted, but you're saying yes because you feel like you're inadequate, because you feel like you don't have the ability to say no. You're not worthwhile if you say no. You feel ashamed if you say no. How many times are you stretching yourselves so thin, trying to prove something to someone about a belief that's not even true to begin with? It's crazy how many times our beliefs can run us through the ringer and leave us feeling just depleted and exhausted and hopeless because you can never get enough of that which you do not need. And your beliefs are constantly being triggered by all of these things as an opportunity for you to heal them, for you to let them go, for you to challenge the false story that at some point you develop and allow you the opportunity to grow into something more, to break into new cycles, to have new beginnings. But in order to do that, we have to close these old ones. We have to let go of these limiting beliefs. And I had an experience last week that I want to share with you because I want you to understand how easily some of these beliefs can be adopted and how you can live with them your entire lives thinking that they're true and having them be untrue. And can you imagine all of the choices that you've made based off of these untruths, based off of this story that's not even real, but just something that you accepted as a child, something that you accepted when you were so young, you couldn't even comprehend that there was a different story there, that maybe you weren't seeing the bigger picture of what was really happening. I just really hope that this episode, that this particular story, that all of this helps you to gain a new perspective, maybe on how you're operating, how you're defining who you are by the choices that you're making, and whether those choices are based on the true you or the you that you've adapted as you. So that being said, I want to talk to you about this 9-week-old puppy that I had the privilege to work on last week. For the purpose of this podcast episode, I'm going to call this puppy Patience. Patience had been adopted and picked up as soon as she was able to safely and developmentally leave her birth family. She was at her new home for a little over a week before she was returned to the birth family. She hadn't done anything wrong, but her new adopted family had experienced an unexpected health crisis and found that they were no longer able to care for Patience in the way that they felt she deserved. They indicated that due to the hospital visits and everything else going on, Patience had been kenneled a lot, and she'd also been shifted around from person to person. The owner didn't feel like she could offer her a good home to do during this unexpected twist that their life had taken. When Patience was returned, she seemed very happy to be reunited with her birth family. The main difference that was noted was that before she had left, Patience was more laid back and calm. Upon returning, she seemed like she had high energy. At first, this change was attributed to her excitement at being with her original family again. But as a couple of days went by, they realized that it seemed more and more as if it was a result of Patience's nervousness or uncertainty, possibly a little anxiety. It was at this point that Spirit and I were able to facilitate a healing with Patience. We did a combination of things, allowing the Reiki energy healing to flow through Patience while I released the trapped emotions related to her adoption. We cut the energetic cord tied between her and the adopted family. It was then that I realized that Patience wasn't allowing the Reiki energy to completely penetrate her entire energetic field. When I asked her why, she said she wasn't feeling good enough to receive it all because something must be wrong with her. We had a nice chat about how some things sometimes appear as though they are all about us, even when they aren't. I told her that sometimes we might assume it's our own fault, but we don't have to accept that first assumption / conclusion that our brains supply us with as fact. In her case, she assumed something was wrong with her because she was shuffled around from people to people or kenneled for a majority of the time, when in fact, those things had nothing to do with her at all. At that point, she was hesitant to move forward, but I asked her if she would allow Spirit to show her the truth of who she really was, and she agreed. After that, she was able to release the belief of not being enough or that something was wrong with her, and she allowed the Reiki in completely. Patience received 3 more reoccurring scheduled healings and a lot of TLC from her birth family, and has since been adopted into a new home where she seems like she's very happy so far. Patience's experience has taught me, or maybe reminded me is a better way to say it, a lot about examining the stories that our brains supply us with around something that is happening to you, and also to examine the beliefs that you carry with you. I couldn't help but wonder what Patience's life could have been like if she had never met me, if we had never done this healing. How many opportunities would she have missed out on? How many times would she have been shown over and over and over again that she was not enough? 9 weeks seems like such a young age to develop such a belief that can affect you for the rest of your life. Can't imagine the experiences that her energy would have drawn to her carrying that belief around. I am beyond grateful that I had the ability to help her. I'm also so grateful to have the opportunity today to share this experience with you so that you will have the opportunity to question your beliefs as well. Are they serving you or causing unnecessary pain and suffering? Are they based on the truth of who you truly are? Or are they based on a story that your ego created to try and protect you long ago? When I asked Spirit what message they wanted to share with you regarding this subject, they chose the deception card, which states you're not seeing the entire picture of a person or situation. It may be purposely withheld from you, or you may be choosing to look the other way or betray yourself in some way. It's time to gain clarity. The second card that they had come out for you is Boundless Possibilities, which says you're standing at the edge of limitless potential. Don't limit your dreams based on the past experiences. Embrace the boundless possibilities that await you. I don't feel like I could have asked for better validation cards. And after my experience and the message that I wanted to share with you today, there's so many things that we take as fact based on historical experiences that we've had. But we don't realize when you're young, like that 9-week-old puppy, that the belief that you developed about not being enough in this case is going to stay with you until you do the work to release it. And you're going to constantly be experiencing situations in which you feel triggered and you feel like you're not enough and you feel like you have to work hard to compensate for that lack, that feeling of lack in yourself. So my message for you today would be, when you are being triggered, regardless of what the actual belief is, remember to examine it. Remember to challenge it. Is this true? Is this true? Do I know that this is true? Run through all of the different scenarios. Can you prove this? Is there proof to support this? How do I know that it's true? Make sure there's external validation, not just things that your brain can come up with. Your brain's very good at coming up with stories, but that doesn't mean it's the fact. It's really interesting to me that they gave you the deception card, because we think of deception, we typically think of it's someone else in this world purposely and intentionally trying to deceive us. But how often are we deceiving ourselves simply because we have beliefs that we developed when we were too young to know any better? That we are too young to understand that there's other perspectives out there, that there's a bigger situation and we are only seeing a very small corner of it. I really hope that this podcast episode today helps you to maybe just be aware that there are stories that we're living out every single day based on our belief system, and that just like a computer needs to be upgraded, so do our beliefs, so they can better support the person that we're trying to become each and every single day. And remember that you're never alone in this process. We're all trying to be better people, or at least most of us are. And those that aren't, just send them love and be on your way. I love you guys, and I can't wait to speak with you again. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you the most love, light, and inspiration. With all of my love, Yara Rose.